So we're at New Orleans, Louisiana on July the 11th. It's Wednesday. And the first thing that I attended was the general session. The keynote speaker actually, once again, was Michael Chasen, who is the president, CEO, co-founder of Blackboard. In the second session that I attended on July the 11th, Wednesday, Yolanda and I immediately saw the title 100% Online Training, and Yolanda...
Faculty training,
not so much the student training. And Yolanda's done so much in that area, and she's already incorporated where faculty can actually get a course online fully 100%. Now these people aren't at 100% yet, but to get to that point where a faculty member can actually be trained online. Now, one requirement was for this particular school, the faculty had to go to a webinar. They had to attend one webinar, and that was a requirement. Otherwise, they could not teach online. Now, the interesting thing about this, it was bilingual, but it was bilingual in the sense that it's English and ASL. It was for the deaf and the hard of hearing. And so, and the irony was a lot of people were making a lot of noise and we couldn't hear everything. But anyway, that's another story. But they did have sign language people in there that were signing. So they obviously create their courses for that purpose, for the American Sign Language, of course, and also in English. Closed captioning and all that kind of stuff is incorporated. So it kind of meets all the ADA requirements. Now, one thing that I did get, but it wasn't anything they showed, but I am going to incorporate a lot more YouTube channels. Yolanda and I talked about that even in the next session, where we can use YouTube free access. I've already done it with Mark Secord's rocket launching and his science projects this past summer. But anyway, so YouTube would be a kind of a cool feature. So, but not much to say about this because Yolanda's kind of done so much on it already. As a matter of fact, I am going to call her right now and tell her about it.
Oh, hey, Amador. Yeah, that's wonderful. Oh, I agree. I totally agree. Let's do that. Okay, I'll see you when we get back. All right, bye.
All right. Sounds good. Be careful out there. Okay, bye. Awesome. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Man, you made it quick.
Yeah.
Hey, this last session basically was about ShareStream, where we can utilize, they basically have a streaming server. So what we're going to do now is we're going to maybe kick it to the next level. One thing I do know about ShareStream is that one thing they incorporate was that closed captioning, you know, so something to think about, right? So, but YouTube, again, comes to mind. Free channels, we can utilize it. Simply take the code and stick it in the our CMS or in the Blackboard CMS. And so anyway, that was ShareStream for later down the road. And the president, the CEO of ShareStream was giving his talk. But anyway, talking on a very technical level. He was more behind the scenes. But as I listened to him, it is true, we got to meet some other needs like closed captioning and things like that. So, but you're already doing a lot of that, Yolanda, and that's awesome.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and research ShareStream just a little bit more because it is a building block, and if it is free as a building block with Blackboard, then I'll go ahead and implement that and see if some of our instructors want to utilize that.
And what she talks about is that we have so many different building blocks that we can now go download at Blackboard 9 and download as many building blocks. If that's one of them, yeah, all for it. Awesome. So let's go this way. All right, this is the exhibit area, exhibition. You can kind of go and do your computer stuff there. We have a lot of little companies here like Respondus. We got that, Respondus is right over here, the lockdown browser. And Cengage is here, Cengage Learning, a lot of other places, Software Secure. And this is where we had all those little, they had game shows. Now if you look at some of the components, Blackboard Services, Blackboard Analytics, Blackboard Collaborate. Of course, we're using Blackboard Learn 9.1. There's Blackboard Connect.
Blackboard Transact, which we use.
Blackboard Transact.
We have Connect too, but we're not using.
We're not using Connect yet. Hey, Yolanda. Let's get the speaker, all right? Let's see if he'll do a little interview for us, all right? Come on.
Oh, wait. I know him personally. I bet you he will do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Please, no pictures, sir. No.
Do you have a moment of your time?
Well,
Of my time?
Yes.
Okay.
Any degree, sir.
Well,
Well, it's more for me, right, Roland?
for you?
Because I'm your friend, not
Okay.
him.
Oh, I didn't see you behind the camera.
Yes.
Hey,
That's
hey, how you
Roland.
doing?
How are
Rene
you?
Garza here from Texas A&M Kingsville. He was
Yes.
our last speaker. Can you give us an overview of what you talked about, sir?
Okay. So our this session was dealt with for faculty, just showing them different resources and how stealing from other open sources can add more voices to your course. You know, thousands of professors a year building courses, but they're stuck in those silos. And this session was just here to incorporate a new idea, a voice, to change them and change their mentality of borrowing and just adding a new voice to your course.
Pretty cool, huh? Thank you.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
And let's
Have
go
fun.
have lunch.
Okay.
And by the way, you did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Okay, so this presentation was about what the curriculum is going to look like in the future. And obviously it's, paperless and all that, and everything's going to be all digital, and it's just going to look different, with graphics and so forth. But the thing I really liked about it is the cute little cartoon, and you can Google Above and Beyond and find this little video, and it showed how one little child was over here and he was trying to fly a plane, and then the other little girl was trying to get her little go-kart going, and they were failing with it. But then they put their heads together, and one was skilled in one area and the other skilled in another area, and together they joined the race, and they were able to make what I call my little hover car, where they were able to make this great go-kart fly. And when they landed and they won the race, they said, "We did it." But the little girl said, "We've only begun," because then they went to places far and beyond, so above and beyond that video. So the curriculum in the future is going to get a lot more advanced. And the people doing this, I think they were from Australia, if I'm correct. Some a Baptist school in Australia, I think. And they had no real technical skills. So very impressive. Anyway, curriculum in the future. This last session was about creating self-sufficient online courses through pretty much easy to use online orientation. And I could tell you till I'm blue in the face and how I feel about it as a faculty member, as a techie, but who better than to ask the pros? We're going to start here with Yolanda Abrigo from Coastal Bend College. Yolanda, what's your take on, what are you doing so far in the orientations?
Well, I've developed an online orientation. Every single student that enrolls at CBC is automatically given access to this orientation. This orientation shows the students how to use the Blackboard Learn program. It assesses their knowledge. It provides them assignments per se. They have to submit assignments. They have to use the Safe Assign tool. They have to post to the discussion board. They have to send email messages out. They get all the information that they need to use the platform before they get into their actual class, because the instructor doesn't have time to be teaching them how to submit assignments. They need to be teaching them how to do English or how to do history, or
focus on the content.
Exactly. So the orientation is, I wish we could mandate it. We can't, but every single student, I can't force them to do it, but they have it and it's there.
Okay, I have a question, and I'll ask our friend, colleague, and cohort in just a moment. And that is, how do you feel about the more of a uniform design to the Blackboard, like a template, where the student doesn't have to relearn everything?
I would love a uniform design, and I think we've pretty much got that, but still instructors, we've given them a lot of flexibility to go in and change, but for the most part, the course menu is going to stay stagnant on the left-hand side. So it's just going to be a little bit different as far as the buttons or the colors that they have, but for the most part, it's uniform.
Cool.
And I really enjoy the uniformity.
Okay, now in the mold of The Office, I'm going to use the one camera deal. I'm going to swing it right over to Rolando Garza from Texas A&M Kingsville. So give us your input. Give us your thought.
I didn't see you there.
You didn't see me.
How you doing?
Fine, chap. So tell us what do you do and how you control your online stuff.
Well, at A&M Kingsville, we're transitioning to build an online self-paced course. Actually, the course I designed, it's mirrored from the course sites template, but I am going live within the next 2 days for I'm doing a small pilot with 25 students. So we're moving into that transition of going online. We're targeting our distance learning students which is hybrid in our online, but eventually, working with our director, we'll see how we could focus it to move it towards the campus, and if it could be a self-enroll course, or it could be. So this is it's there's a lot of parts to put in this, and I'm just one part of the design process. So.
And you heard it from Rolanda Garza from Texas A&M Kingsville, and Yolanda Brigo. Signing out. Yours truly, Amador Ramirez from Coastal Bend College. We're out.
Why did you have to be last? Why couldn't I be last?
I don't want that. You be last. Come on.
Sign off.
Sign off. All right. Ladies first. No, ladies last. Okay. No, keep it going. All right. So it's recording, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we just did a session on. Let me get this real quick. Hold on 1 second. It was the learning management system, the LMS. I can't read my writing. Look how bad I write.
It was the
customization
of your
revealed.
Yes.
And from the University of I can't say the word Saskatchewan,
or something like
Canada, and anyway, building blocks, kind of like these right here, and interesting enough, Yolanda thought they were going to do a deal on Legos building blocks. Had nothing to do with Legos, but really, Yolanda, it was kind of more the behind the scenes, the platform, and where you can go and get a lot of open source. So we got a lot of websites that we can go to, implement it, but from a techie standpoint, you have to be real careful.
Yeah.
Because if you apply a theme at the system level, it could damage some files and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more of a and the language pack too. You're talking about French in Canada, the French or the English and so forth, and whatever the case. And the one lady mentioned the Chinese students and so forth. But usually from the faculty perspective, it's easy, so you kind of leave it like that. From the system, it gets a little more where you have to get into some HTML code, CSS, cascading style sheets. So this one was a little bit pretty deep, and plus we're tired. And we got one more session, and we're going to do it. One more session, and it's dealing with the syllabi and how to extract the syllabi from Blackboard for SACS purposes, Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, and accreditation and all that. I believe that's what we're doing. I don't know. It's next door to where we're at, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And if it's not the one, we'll come back in the last video for the day. Bye.
We were concerned about the course files system, which obviously stores data differently than the old method. By associating the content system with the SID number, we were a little concerned about the
Oh God! Ow! We have to take him to a hospital.
Why? What is it, doctor?
Well, it's a building with sick people in it.